Listen, the talk is everywhere. Your phone won't stop buzzing, notifications stacking up like waves crashing on the shore. And it's not just one or two people, it's a chorus of voices, each one vying for a moment of your attention. Right. Now, in rooms you've never stepped into, among people you've never met, your name is slipping into conversations, igniting curiosity, stirring emotions. You got multiple people in love with you. Some people chase attention. They mold themselves, adjust their tone, and amplify their presence just to be noticed. But you don't chase it, you are it. The moment you step into a room, the atmosphere shifts. Eyes are drawn to you, conversations pause for a split second, and an unspoken energy ripples through the space. It's not about volume, it's about presence. There's a difference between someone demanding attention and someone commanding it effortlessly. You don't have to speak the loudest, dress the flashiest, or force yourself into the spotlight. Your presence alone is enough. People notice not just what you say, but how you carry yourself, how you exist in a way that's completely, unapologetically, your own. And think of the moments when someone walks in, and without a word, the energy in the room changes. Maybe it's the way they exude confidence, or how their silence speaks louder than the chatter around them. They don't need validation, and that's what makes them impossible to ignore. That's you. And let's be real, it's not just about looks. Attraction runs deeper than aesthetics. People might admire a face, but what truly captivates them is the way you make them feel. It's the unshakable energy you carry, the way your presence lingers in their mind long after you've left. You've tapped into something most never master, the art of being instead of seeking, and that, right there, is what makes you undeniable. An attraction isn't always about romance. It's deeper than that. It's admiration, fascination, and sometimes an unexplainable pull that makes people want to be close to you. And right now, you're the source, the epicenter. The reason why multiple hearts are caught up in a whirlwind of emotions, all tracing back to one undeniable truth: you have something they crave. But here's the real kicker. It's not just one type of person that's drawn to you, it's a mix. Different personalities, different walks of life, all finding themselves orbiting around you. Some are captivated by your confidence, others by your mystery. Some see you as a challenge, others as a muse. But regardless of their reasons, they all find themselves thinking about you more than they should. Think about that one person who never even intended to fall for you, but somehow ended up tangled in their feelings. Maybe they started off indifferent or even skeptical, but over time, something shifted. It could have been the way you carried yourself without a need for approval, the way you listened with presence, making them feel seen in a world that rarely pays attention. Or maybe it was simply the fact that you weren't trying to impress anyone. You were just being you, and that was enough. And then there are the ones who've admired you from a distance. They watch the way others interact with you, the way rooms shift when you walk in, the effortless way people are drawn to your presence. They may never say it out loud, but in their minds, you are the one who stands out. And the beauty of it all, you're not chasing love, it's chasing you. You're not out here trying to be the most wanted person in the city, but somehow that's exactly what's happening. The energy you radiate is magnetic, and people can't help but be drawn to it. Some will try to deny it, others will fight it, but at the end of the day, the truth remains. You are the reason behind more heartbeats than you even realize. And the best part, you're just living your life. You are an unfinished book, a movie with missing scenes, a song that lingers long after it stops playing. They think they know you, but just when they believe they've grasped who you are, you slip through their fingers like smoke. And that drives them crazy, and people crave clarity. They want things to make sense, to fit neatly into boxes, to be labeled and categorized. But you are an exception to their usual patterns. They can't pin you down because you don't. Operate on predictable scripts. One moment, you're the most engaging person in the room, drawing everyone in effortlessly. The next, you're distant, lost in your own world, making them wonder if they ever had your attention in the first place. And that's where the obsession starts. Psychology says people are drawn to what they can't easily understand. When something is fully known, it loses its mystery. But when there's an element of the unknown, curiosity takes over. They need to know more. Why do you move the way you do? Why do certain people have your time and attention while others don't? What is it about you that makes them feel like they're constantly on the verge of figuring you out, yet never quite getting there? They'll watch you closely, analyzing your words, your silences, your body language, trying to find the missing pieces. Some will straight up ask, hoping for a clear answer. Others will keep their distance, unwilling to admit how much space you take up in their thoughts. But whether they say it or not, the truth remains. You live in their minds, rent-free. But here's the real power. You're not forcing this. You're not playing games, and you're not putting on an act. You've simply mastered the balance between being present and keeping parts of yourself unknown. You know how to engage. Just enough to keep them intrigued, but never so much that they feel like they fully have you. And so, the cycle continues. The more they try to figure you out, the deeper they fall. The less you explain, the more they crave to know. And that is what keeps your name echoing long after you've left the room. And not everyone watching you is rooting for you. Some admire, some desire, and some resent. But here's what separates you from the rest. You don't fight negativity, you outshine it. Some people thrive on drama, fueled by insecurity and the need to tear others down. But no matter how much they talk, how much they plot, how much they wish they could dim your light, they can't. Why? Because you don't operate on their frequency. You're not tuned into the same low vibrations that consume them. You move differently, and that difference unsettles them. Think about it. When you walk into a space, the energy shifts. Some feel inspired, others feel threatened. And those who operate in negativity, they feel exposed. Your presence alone reminds them of everything they lack, everything they're pretending to be. So they react, they gossip, they throw shade, they attempt to twist narratives, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your energy disrupts their illusions. But here's the truth, they can't touch you. You don't need to engage, explain, or defend yourself. You just keep being you, and that alone is enough to shake their world. Because while they're busy trying to tear you down, you're rising. While they waste their breath discussing you, you're moving forward. And deep down, they know they can't stop you. That's why they're so obsessed. And here's what really burns them. For every person who resents you, there are 10 more who are drawn to you. People gravitate toward light, toward authenticity, toward those who move with confidence and purpose. That's why, no matter how much negativity tries to latch onto you, it never sticks. You don't just survive the envy, the whispers, the attempts to pull you down. You thrive in spite of it. And because at the end of the day you were chosen to stand out, chosen to lead, chosen to be watched, admired, discussed. And whether they love you or envy you, one thing remains the same. They can't ignore you. Long before you walk into a room, your name is already there. It lingers in conversations, whispered between admirers, analyzed by those trying to figure you out. Some speak of you with admiration, others with curiosity, and a few with envy. But regardless of the tone, the fact remains, you are the conversation. And your influence spreads effortlessly. You don't have to introduce yourself because the streets already did it for you. People know your name, your energy, your essence, even those who have never met you in person. And when your name is mentioned, it carries weight. Some defend it, some question it, but none can ignore it. And that's what makes you different. Most people try to build a reputation, to craft an image, to force recognition. But you don't force anything. Your presence alone leaves an imprint. You're not chasing clout or begging for attention, yet people can't stop talking about you. Why? Because you've given them something real. There's an undeniable authenticity to you. A presence that people can't fake or replicate. You move with confidence, but not arrogance. You engage, but never overexpose. You leave people wanting more, keeping them intrigued, making them feel like they've just scratched the surface of who you really are. That mystery, that natural allure, it fuels the conversations about you. Think about it. When someone carries real influence, they don't need to be present for their presence to be felt. They don't need to be in the room to dominate the discussion. And you've mastered this without even trying. And some people watch you because they admire you, others because they wish they were you. Some defend your name because they've felt your energy firsthand. Others spread rumors because they can't handle the way you outshine them. But in the end, they all have one thing in common. They know who you are. And whether they love you, envy you, or don't know what to make of you, one truth remains unshaken. Your name carries power, and it's only getting louder. They say the truth will set you free, but most can't handle it. For the chosen ones in the obsidian inner order, it's not just the truth. It's the whole cosmic download, no sugarcoating, no escape. And picture this. Weekly group calls with 450 plus chosen ones, recorded and available anytime for your enlightenment. Our private Discord, it's not just active, it's alive, buzzing with ideas, breakthroughs, and that unstoppable chosen energy. Oh, and for you romantics out there, welcome to Chosen Singles, where soulmates meet under cosmic alignments, not cheap pickup lines. And for the seekers, dive into Modern Manifestation Mechanics, our exclusive grimoire, with 3 chapters available to members. Learn how to turn your home into an abundance magnet, master basic spellcraft for physical manifestation, and channel magical forces to elevate your goals. Plus, you'll get access to interviews with real targeted individuals and video specials so bold, the YouTube archons don't even want you to see them. This is more than a membership. It's a movement. So, what are you waiting for? Stop searching. Start ascending. The link is in the description. Confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about arrogance, forcefulness, or demanding attention. True confidence is quiet, steady, unshakable. And that's exactly what makes you irresistible. People can sense it before you even speak. The way you carry yourself, the way you move, the way you hold eye contact just long enough before looking away. It all speaks volumes without a single word. Confidence isn't just something you show. It's something you radiate. And when you own who you are, without apology, the world takes notice. Think about those individuals who seem to attract admiration effortlessly. It's not always because they're the most conventionally attractive or the most socially outgoing. It's because they move like they know they belong, like they don't need to prove a single thing. And that energy, it's magnetic. Done now. Consider the opposite. Those who try too hard, who seek validation in every interaction, who let insecurity leak into their words and actions. It's obvious. Desperation repels, while self-assurance pulls people in. When you don't need approval, that's when people start handing it to you without hesitation. There's a story of someone who transformed the way they saw themselves, and in doing so, transformed how the world saw them. They stopped trying to please, stopped over-explaining, stopped shrinking to make others comfortable. And suddenly, something shifted. People listened when they spoke. They were remembered long after they left a room. They became undeniable, not because they changed who they were, but because they finally embraced it. And that's the secret. confidence isn't about changing yourself to fit an image. It's about fully stepping into who you already are. The moment you stop seeking validation, the moment you own your presence, flaws and all, the moment you move like you already belong, that's when the world can't help but believe in you too. Because confidence is a frequency, and when you're tuned into it, the right people, the right energy, the right opportunities, all of it starts chasing you. Not everyone will say it outright. Some will be bold, stepping forward with full confidence, letting you know exactly how they feel. But most will admire you in silence, watching from the sidelines, hoping you notice them without them having to say a word. And that's the thing about admiration. It doesn't always come in the form of direct confessions. Sometimes it's in the subtle details, the quiet gestures, the small yet undeniable signs that you've left an imprint on someone's mind. And some will shoot their shot directly. They'll flood your phone with messages, drop hints in conversations, or find ways to place themselves in your orbit. They want you to know they're interested, that they see your value, that they'd do anything to get closer to you. Others will admire from a distance. They'll replay your words in their mind long after you've said them. They'll check your social media, waiting for your next post, lingering in your stories, hoping you notice their presence. They'll bring your name up in conversations just to feel connected to you in some way. They may never openly admit how drawn they are to you, but their actions will always betray them. Then there are those who express their admiration in unexpected ways, through jealousy, competition, even imitation. Not all attention comes from a place of love. Some people won't know how to handle the way you captivate others, so instead of joining in admiration, they'll disguise it as rivalry. But make no mistake, they're watching you just as closely. And this is where wisdom comes in. Not all admiration should be entertained. Some people are drawn to you for the right reasons, and some are drawn to you because they want to consume your energy. Knowing the difference is key. The ones who truly respect you will never demand more than you're willing to give. The ones who don't, they'll try to drain you, pull you into their chaos, or make you feel guilty for the attention you receive. The power is in your hands. You don't have to acknowledge every admirer, every message, every glance. You get to choose who deserves access to your energy, because at the end of the day, the real ones, they'll respect your presence without ever needing to beg for it. And they want you, but they can't have you. Not because you're playing hard to get, not because you're leading anyone on, but because you're too locked into your own growth to be easily caught. And that's what makes you even more desirable. See, most people spend their lives chasing validation, chasing attention, chasing someone to fill the emptiness inside them. But you're chasing something bigger. You're focused on your purpose, your evolution, your path. You're not sitting around waiting for someone to complete you because you're already whole. And that kind of energy, it's rare, it's intoxicating. It makes people want to be a part of your world. And the more you invest in yourself, the more others want to invest in you. When you're constantly leveling up, constantly improving, constantly moving forward, people start to realize that keeping up with you is a privilege, not a guarantee. You don't need to tell them you're different. They can feel it, and that feeling makes them want you even more. Some will try to win you over, thinking they can break through whatever invisible barrier is keeping them at arm's length. They'll test the waters, seeing if you'll slow down just enough for them to catch up. But here's the truth. The ones meant for you will never need you to shrink. They won't ask you to dim your light, to pause your progress, or to abandon your journey just to make them comfortable. And then there are those who will mistake your focus for arrogance. They'll say you're distant, that you're too good for certain people, that you act like you don't care. But deep down, they know the truth. They're just not used to someone who doesn't need to be needed. And that's the paradox of attraction. The harder you chase your own growth, the more they chase you. Not because you're unavailable, but because you're selective. You don't entertain just anyone. You don't give your time, your energy, or your presence to those who haven't earned it. And that's what keeps them coming back, because in a world where people are desperate for attention, your ability to be unbothered, focused, and untouchable makes you the rarest thing of all, a prize they can't win unless you choose to let them. And it's not just your presence that captivates people, it's the way you make them feel. In a world where most are unheard, unnoticed, and misunderstood, you stand out because you offer something rare, genuine connection. And you don't just listen, you absorb. You don't just respond, you understand. And that level of attentiveness, it's addictive. People walk away from conversations with you feeling lighter, like they've just been seen for the first time in a long time. It's not about saying the perfect words or fixing their problems. It's about the energy you bring. You make people feel like they matter, and that alone makes them want to be near you. Some people fall for you because of your presence, but the ones who stay, they stay because of how you made them feel. They remember that one conversation, that one moment where you truly saw them when no one else did. And that's why you leave. An imprint. Because while others demand attention, you give people something deeper, the feeling of being valued. And once someone experiences that, they never forget you. And when people talk, it means you matter. Whether the words are true, twisted, or completely fabricated, the fact remains, you're on their minds. And rumors don't start about the irrelevant. They start about those who stand out, those who intrigue, those who carry a presence that's impossible to ignore. Some will spread stories because they admire you. Others will do it out of envy, hoping to distort your image. But what they don't realize, every whisper only amplifies your allure. Think about it. Mystery fuels attraction. When people hear conflicting things about you, their curiosity deepens. Who are they really? They start paying more attention, trying to separate truth from fiction, and in doing so, they get pulled further into your gravity. And the smart ones, they don't chase rumors, they let their energy speak for itself, because the truth always reveals itself in time. And while some waste their breath trying to define you, you're too busy living, evolving, and rising to correct them. So let them talk, let them wonder. Because at the end of the day, whether they love you, question you, or envy you, you are still the conversation. No, you don't need to shrink. You don't need to downplay your presence to make others comfortable. You are desired, and you are deserving. Some people will try to make you feel guilty for the attention you receive. They'll call it luck, timing, or even arrogance. But deep down, they know the truth. You've earned this. Your energy, your confidence, your authenticity. None of it is an accident. It's the result of moving through life on your own terms, refusing to beg for validation, and allowing your presence to speak louder than words. Knowing your desirability doesn't mean seeking approval. It means recognizing your own worth, regardless of who acknowledges it. It means understanding that admiration isn't just about looks or status. It's about the energy you bring, the way you make people feel, the undeniable magnetism that you no longer need to question. So, the world is talking about you. The energy around you is undeniable. The only question left is, what will you do with it?